This is gonna be the Valentine's Day special, and this is gonna be what if Deku rented a girlfriend. So, let's get into it.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you. Won't you let the light shine
I'm back. It's been a while. It's been like 2 months since I last posted, and I'm really sorry. Well, yeah, I'm really sorry because the month of December and January, mostly December, was like hard for me because I had to like go to the hospital a lot of times for my mom because she had to do like COVID testing, and like she had something wrong. Like she didn't like catch, corona, but she was like sick and all that. So, and she doesn't know she doesn't speak or understand English that well, so I was there like translating everything for her. And then my schoolwork just started piling up because I was like taking my mom to the hospital like once a week, and my school was being a pain because they were like shoving all this work onto me into like the rest of my like the kids in my grade that they were like shoving like half a year's of like work onto like 1 month. So we had to learn a lot of stuff, and I didn't really pay attention because we like I didn't really get it because like we just had like one day to learn it, and then like one day to like practice it, and that was like it. And then we had to move on to like the other subjects that we had to learn about. And they gave us a lot of homework, which sucked. And then January was still hard because even though it was like I think it was like the start of the second semester. Yeah, it was the start of my second semester, like once I got back from like winter break or like Christmas break. And I still had like a few assignments from last semester that I still had to do, even though I didn't have like the same classes I had last semester, because I had my first 4 classes, then I had my other 4 this semester. And then they started to pile up work from my class. Then it was like getting really hard for me, so I had to take a break. And yeah, so I'm back, and because I wanted to post something because I've been gone for 2 months. And also and it's also the day I'm recording this, it's the 10th, I think. Yeah, it's the 10th. And on the 13th of February would be the 1-year anniversary of my channel. Like, yeah, I started my channel on the 13th of February of 2020, which was like, I think the second week of quarantine. Yeah, the second week of quarantine or something like that. I was bored and I just decided to make this channel. And who knew, like in a year I would get like over 4K, like over 4,000 subscribers. That's a big number for me, and I just want to thank you guys for that. So I was gonna make like a 1 year special, but I don't know if I should because I got to get back into the habit of recording. So I might put it off for a while, but I don't know. I have a few ideas of what I can do. Oh, and also this for this Valentine's special, this would be a one shot unless it does like well, and I'm not gonna like set like a like a like a goal, like a like goal, and see how many people like it. I'm just gonna see if anyone really watches this because I've been gone for a while, and also my views have been going down. So that's something. So I don't know if people would even watch this. But yeah, I'm not gonna set like a like goal for this. I'm just gonna see how it does, and if enough people want a part two to this, then I'll post it. I'll continue the series, but so far, this video is gonna be a one shot. So, anyways, so I'm gonna start the story. So, it starts off as like canon, Deku wants to be a hero, then he gets told that he's quirkless, yada yada yada. And, he gets a little bit depressed, and he feels a lot lonelier because, like no one wanted to hang out with him. And he still wanted to like hang out with Bakugo, but he stopped trying to be his friend because even though they were like friends before they got their quirks, or when Bakugo got his quirk, they were friends. But then after that, he just started to become arrogant, and, just try to treat Deku like he was garbage. And so he just kind of gave up on that. So, his mom was worried. He was also worried about him because Deku, like, he hasn't left his room. He hasn't left his room. He like barely talks to his mom. He rarely eats, but he just sits in his room, like in silence, just watching like all my videos. Like the one of him like saving like everyone from like a collapsed building or something. The one that was shown in canon when Deku was a kid. Yeah, that it was that video. And his mom has really his mom has gotten really worried for him. And sorry, you know I keep blanking out. I need to get back in the habit of like recording. So yeah, I'm sorry, but anyways, so he stumbled like as he's like going on, like he's on his phone just like scrolling on like social media, and he sees an ad for an app that lets you rent girlfriends, and yeah, yeah, lets you rent girlfriends. Deku was interested, and he clicked on it. He like it took him to like a description, like a little like website, and he read the description of like the website. It's saying like you can like rent girlfriend, just basic stuff about the website. And Deku, when he just thinks for a moment, and he just says, should I like do this? Like, I would be more pathetic because I have to rent a girlfriend just to feel happy. So he does it, even though it like kind of hurts him inside that he has to go through like this kind of length to like rent some person that he doesn't even know, pretending to be someone that he cares about. But, you know, so like the next day, he goes to school, and, you know, yeah, sorry. Anyway, so, you know, the next day he goes to school saying boring stuff. He gets bullied. He doesn't fight back as usual. And he's a lot more shy than in canon. He rarely talks to people as well. He's more quiet than in canon. But, you know, he's still the same Deku. You know, he loves heroes. He has his notebook. But he's not as Deku from canon. So he gets ready. Then like he gets a message from like the girl he rented out, which is Chizuru. And in this, I'm gonna make her. Should I make them the same age? You know what? I'm not. I'm gonna make her 1 year younger or older than him. You know, why not? So Deku. So like Deku gets a message from Chizuru saying like to meet up in this specific location, and Deku says like yeah, that's fine, sounds good. So Deku gets ready, and his mom is curious, and so she asks Deku like, hey, where are you going? And because like she sees him all dressed like nicely, I must say I don't know, he just dresses like just like a normal person, I guess, just dressed nicer than he usually does. And yeah, so he says that he has a date, and his mom is like shocked but also really happy, and she also starts to cry a little. And Deku like walks over to her, and she says like, mom, are you okay? And Inko is like sobbing and like saying like, you know and she's just saying that he's like finally like stepping out of his shell and meeting new people and getting to know someone to actually go on a date with them. So he smiles and gives her a hug, and then he says like, all right, I'm off. And Inko would say like, yeah, you be careful, Midoriya, or Izuku. So Deku makes his way out of his house, then goes to the place, and he arrives there a little early than the time. So he waits by like a wall. He leans on like a wall of like, I don't know. He's just waiting for Chizuru, and he's just like thinking in his head like I wonder how this would like turn out, like, and I wonder how she looks. I mean, wait, no. Well, he's just wondering if this would go well, and then he would hear someone calling out to him. They would say like, "Hey, are you Izuku Midoriya?" And Deku would look up to see Chizuru, and he's blushing a lot. His face turns red, and he like stutters. He would start stuttering. He would say like, yeah, that's me. And she would say, well then, should we get this started? And Deku would say, yeah, let's go. So they make their way to like, I must say they go to like the mall. Yeah, they go to like the mall. They have fun. you know, Deku buys like her stuff that she wants, and if she wants, like he pays for like the snacks, and you know, eventually, you know, eventually like they make it outside the mall, and they're just like walking down the street, and it's kind of late, and then Chizuru would like stop, and she would say like, "Well then, like time's up," you know, and Deku would say like, "Oh yeah," and then he like gets out his wallet and just like gives her the money, and she says, "Well, hope to see you next time," and then she like walks away, and Deku would like he would like just stand there. He's just thinking like, that went better than I thought. Hopefully I didn't look like an idiot. And and like as like then he walks away, and I would cut to like Chizuru's point of view. So like as they were going on the date, like this is, yeah, like I said, this is gonna be Chizuru's point of view. So like during their date, in her head she was thinking like, wow, he's very antisocial, but like she can like see that even though he is antisocial and he doesn't really have any like social skills, he still tries his best to like be like an actual boyfriend, like I said, like he buys her the things that she wants, and like buys food for her when she wants food, when she's hungry, and she would like just think that even though he still tried his best, even though he you know she just like said that he was trying his best. And we cut back to Deku, and he's walking home, and he's just reflecting on everything that happened today, and then he like lets out a smile, and he hasn't smiled in a long time. He's always been like quiet, and he doesn't really like show any emotions. So this was something big for him. I think maybe he'll start becoming like a better person. So he would get home, and his mom would like run up to him, and she would say, "Izuku, Izuku, like where have you been? Like, do you see what time it is?" And Deku would say, "Yeah, I'm sorry, Mom. I got caught up with the date." And she would say like, "Oh yeah, that's right. So how did it go?" And Deku would say, "It went a lot better than I thought." And Inko would say like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you. Like, my little baby is like growing up. He's all grown up now." And he gives off like a chuckle, and he would say like, "Stop, Mom. I'm not I'm not growing up, or I'm not growing up that fast." And she would like smile back at him because he's smiling, and she hasn't seen him smile in a long time. So she's happy about that. And she would say like, "Well, do you want dinner?" And Deku would say, "No, Mom, I already ate something, and I'm not hungry." And Inko would say, "Oh, okay." Like, "Okay, so are you just gonna head off to bed?" And Deku would say, "Yeah." Like, so he goes to his room, and he just reflects once again on the date, and he would say like, "You know what? Renting's on Chizuru wasn't so bad." And then the next day, I would say it's Saturday, it's the weekend, and yesterday was Friday. So Saturday comes, he has no school, so he kind of wakes up a little late. And it's it's the last day of school. Yeah, it's the last day of school. No, no, what am I saying? No, you know what? I'm gonna change it. It's not the weekend. It's gonna be Friday. Yeah, sorry. So last time it was Thursday and today is Friday. So, he's getting ready for school. So, and he's like getting excited because it's the last day of middle school. So, he packs his bags, changes, then he makes his way to school. And, he gets to class and Baku would notice that he seems a little off. He notices that he's acting a bit different. He's acting happier than usual. So Bakugo being Bakugo, he would walk up to him and he would say like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And Deku would say like, "Oh, hey Bakugo." It's like nothing. And he's just thinking about the day and he would give off a little smile. And Baku would say like, "Hey, what are you smiling about?" And Deku would say, "Well," and he's like thinking in his mind, and he's just thinking like, should I tell him? Like, yeah, why not? Just to like rub it in his face. And he would say that he went on a date yesterday, and he was just thinking about that. And Baku would start to laugh. Then he would say like, you going on a date, and then people would start to like turn their heads towards them, and Baku would start to laugh louder, and he would say like, he would shout out like, "Hey everyone, like Deku here says he went on a date," and everyone and just started laughing and like at him. So he would start hiding behind like his notebook, his backpack. And then the teacher would walk in and he would say like, "All right, settle down, settle down. Class is now in session." So Bakugo would return to his seat, and then, the day would go on as normal. As the day would end, Deku is like sitting there in his desk just like taking notes of like heroes or just like the lesson that they were taught. And then the teacher would say like, "All right, so what are you guys gonna do after middle school?" And he would just throw up the papers like in cannon. He would say like, "I know you all want to be heroes." Everyone would start to like go crazy, use their quirks. And then Bakugo would do his whole speech saying like he's better than everyone else. And he's gonna be the only one attending UA. And then the teacher would say like, "Oh yeah, Midoriya, don't you want to go to UA?" And then everyone would turn and laugh at him. And Deku would say that that UA got rid of like the rule of quirkless people not being there or not allowed to attend there. So he thinks that he can be the first quirkless person in UA. Then Bakugo does the same thing. He blows up his desk, then his notebook, and he like throws it out the window. Or no, that happens later. So let me backtrack a little. So he would like blow up his desk. He would say that you're nothing, Deku. Then later, as everyone is leaving, Deku's packing up. Then Bakugo would come up to him, take his notebook and blow it up, throw it out the window. And then Bakugo would tell Deku to kill himself. And Deku is starting, like, even though it's been like one day, he's just spent with Chizuru for all day yesterday. he's just starting to like change a little bit. He was like not gonna like stand for Bakugo's insults, but he wouldn't say anything just because he doesn't want to get beat up. Then, you know, Deku. I would say Deku had like assigned or just like yeah, rented out Chizuru again, and you know, so after school he goes home and you know he gets ready for the date, and his mom would say like, "Hey, are you going on a date again, Midoriya?" And Deku would say, "Yeah, I am." And she would say like, all right, you have fun. One of these days you have to like introduce me to her. And Deku would say, yeah, yeah, one day." So, so he would like leave and then meet up with Chizuru, and they would go have fun. Eventually, they're in this like the middle of like the city, and they're just walking around looking at, you know, different like they're just talking, and they would make it to like in front of an alleyway, and there's like barely any people around. So then a few like men would like come out from the alleyway, and they would say like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you guys doing, kids?" And they would look and to see it like, I would say like, four men, and then they would say like, answer the question, and Deku would say like, we're on a date, like stuttering, and they would like kind of laugh, and they would say like, how cute. And one of the like the guys would say, he wouldn't mind us like taking your girlfriend, will you? And like he would say, wait, what? As one of the men just grabs Chizuru by the arm and just drags her into the alleyway, and they would just start running, and you know, they would like start running deeper into the alleyway, and Deku would start chasing after them. And you know, eventually the Deku would like turn a corner to see them, like pinning Chizuru on a wall, and like they would pull out like knives, and you know, Chizuru like is like scared. She's like almost crying, and she would like spot Izuku, and she would just look at him with an expression like saying, "Help me." And you know, Deku would pick up on that, but he is hesitant. Like he's like why am I hesitating? Like I shouldn't be scared. If All Might was here, he wouldn't hesitate. So Deku would start running. Then the guys would notice him, and Deku would throw a punch at one of them. Then the guy would say, "Ha, that tickled." Then, what the heck? Hey, sorry, like this car alarm just started going off. I'm sorry if you can hear it, but I'm gonna continue the story. Dang, that's annoying. So, bro, I can't think. Oh my god. No, oh, there it stopped. So, you know, Deku, as he throws the punch, the guy says, "Ha, that tickled." And then he will like push Deku towards the ground. Then one of the guys just started pinning it, just pinned, or they would grab. Oh my god, are you bro? I'm sorry if you can hear it. But one of the men would like just grab Chizuru and like hold like just almost like tie her hands behind her back, and the other three would just started to beat on Izuku, and she would just be like restrained, and the guy that's like holding her, he would say like, yeah, so that's your boyfriend, huh? He's pretty pathetic. And she's scared because she just got like I'm not gonna say what she thought was gonna happen to her, but now she's like looking at one of her clients just getting beat up just because they were trying to protect her. She's like crying a little. She's like really worried, and eventually they would hear something underground, and they would like stop and say like, what is that? And then the sludge monster would appear, and All Might didn't catch it back in like the tunnel where Deku first encountered it in canon. So I made it all the way over here in the alleyway where it should have attacked Bakugo, but it's gonna attack Deku and Chizuru this time. And so then the sludge villain would appear from the sewers, and the guys would say like, what the heck? Like and they would say like, let's get out of here. So then Deku is left lying there. Then Chizuru is like just left there like paralyzed with fear because she's looking at the sludge villain, the sludge monster. Then the sludge villain would say like, hey lady, come here, I need your body. That sounds really wrong, but whatever. So he would grab a hold of her and start like doing the same thing what he did to Deku in canon. And she would start to like move, trying to break free, but then eventually like they would get it onto like the main road. But instead of like causing a commotion like Bakugo did, because he has like an explosion quirk. And should I give Chizuru a quirk, or should she be quirkless? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to put Chizuru in UA. I don't know if I should or not. But I don't know. Unless this video does well, I can do a part 2. But, eventually the sludge villain would make it onto the main road. And he would start causing a destruction all around her, or all around like the civilians. He will like start messing with like fire hydrants, making them like spew out water. He would cause just destruction, not really fire. No, yeah, he would cause fires like Bakugo did. So Deku was like less trying to like stand up because he got beat up, and he would make his way out of the alleyway and see, like, he would see the destruction all around him, fires. Then like he would see heroes coming onto the scene, just trying to put them out. Then he would like look down the street to see the sludge monster, the sludge villain, I mean, like with Chizuru, and he's scared. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, in his mind, he's saying like, should I do something, or should I leave it to the heroes? And then the heroes would like be like in canon, like they would be too busy with like helping civilians, or like their quirks weren't like suited for like a villain like this. So Deku's like just there, and All Might is there as well, but in his Small Might form, because like he ran out of like his time limit was up just as he like heard the commotion. Then he walked over here. So, he's like the same as in Ken, and he says like I can't do anything. Like I let the villain get away, and now it's it's attacking a poor lady, or, yeah, a poor girl, and so he feels ashamed. He's saying that he did like a rookie mistake, like Canon. Then he then Deku, he would say like he's like I have to do something. I have to do something. And he would start charging forward, passing the heroes like in canon. He's running as fast. He doesn't really know what he's gonna do. He's just running towards the villain. And since he doesn't have his backpack, he doesn't really have anything to like hit him with the eye. So the villain would start attacking Deku, and since Deku doesn't really know how to dodge or attack, like fight anyone, he would get hit, and then he would get sent flying to like the walls of like the buildings next to him, and he would let out like a pain, like a scream of agony, and he would get back up because like a hero wouldn't like be taken down that easily. He wants to be a hero, and also even though Chizuru is a rental, she is someone that needs saving, and that's what heroes do. So he gets back up and he starts running, and the heroes can't really do anything because, like I said, they're occupied, and they're just like watching like this kid getting hurt, just trying to save this person. Like they're saying like he must be an idiot, like just trying to save someone. Like but Deku keeps on trying. Chizuru's like looking at him, like getting hurt, like even more hurt. And then, eventually, the sludge monster would punch Deku so hard that he would actually just start coughing up a little bit of blood. And, he's almost about to pass out until he would hear a familiar voice. He would hear, I am here, He would see All Might in front of him. He would like say like, All Might, and All Might would say, I'm so sorry for leaving you here. You did a good job, young man, but now leave the rest to me. And All Might would grab Chizuru's hand and pull her out, and then he would do the Detroit Smash, and he would change the weather like in canon. Then Deku would get rushed to the hospital, and Chizuru was left there as well because she wasn't hurt, but her clothes were wet, so like they put a towel over her, and they gave her like new dry clothes to put on. So Deku gets rushed to the hospital. He's conscious, but like the doctor would tell him just to like give it a few more days, then he'll be released. And then his mom would arrive, and Chizuru would be there as well. And Chizuru would be in his room, and then Inko would walk in. She would say, Izuku, are you okay? And Deku would be like, yeah, I am, Mom. I'm fine. And then Inko would look, and she would see Chizuru, and she would say like, who is this Midoriya? Or who is this Izuku? And Deku would say like, yeah, that's Chizuru, Might. And he would look at her, and she would look at him, and she would give like a little like a nod and like telling him like you can tell her that, like you can tell her, and he would say like my girlfriend, and Inko would say like, oh hi, like my name is like Inko, I'm the mother of Izuku, like nice to meet you. And Chizuru would like introduce herself, and they would start talking like, but Deku's left there just just there, just listening to them. Eventually it would get late, and Inko would head home. Like she would say bye to Chizuru and Deku. And as Deku, or as Chizuru is about to leave, Deku would say, he would stop her and he would say like, hey. She would turn around and she would say, what is it? And I would say like she kind of dropped the act from like the whole girlfriend thing, because this was a serious thing. And Deku would say, I'm sorry that I told my mom about you. And Chizuru would say like, it's fine. A lot of my clients introduced me to their parents, so it's nothing normal. And Deku would say, really? And Chizuru would sit back down, and they would start to have like an actual normal conversation. Chizuru dropped the act. She's like being like herself, and they're talking, and Deku would say like, hey, like, you pass me my wallet. Like, I need to get the stuff. I need to give you the money. I need to pay you. And Chizuru would say like, you can pay me later. And Deku would say like, no, I can't do that. And Chizuru would say like I'm telling you to pay me later. You're injured right now. And Deku would say, okay. And so Chizuru would leave. Deku's left there, and he just falls asleep. Then the next day, it's I want to say it's like 8:30 in the morning. He wakes up, and the doctor would come in. He would say like, hey Midoriya, how are you doing? And Deku would say like, I'm fine. And the doctor would say like, that's good. So I have someone who wants to talk to you. And Deku would say, really? Like who? Then All Might would walk in. He would say, haha, I am here. His catchphrase. And Deku would be shocked. He would say like, All Might? And then he would like touch his stomach, because he got punched there, and it still kind of hurts. And All Might would say like, don't push yourself, young man. Then the doctor would leave, and Nezu would be there as well. And Nezu would introduce himself, and Deku would say like, oh, I feel like I've heard your name before. And Nezu would say like, you may have. I'm the principal of UA High School. And Deku would say, UA? Yeah, that's the school I want to attend to. I wanted to try out for the entrance exams, since you guys got rid of the rule of quirkless people not being able to attend. And Nezu would say, so you're quirkless? And All Might would say like, or he wouldn't say anything, but he would be thinking in his head that this kid is quirkless and he acted more heroic than the actual heroes. Maybe he is a worthy candidate. And All Might would start talking, and he would say, "Hey, young Midoriya, was it? Midoriya, was it?" Deku would say, "Yes, All Might. What you did was heroic, but it was also reckless. You could have died, and if I wasn't there on time, who knows what could have happened to you and and to that young woman." And Deku would say, "Yeah, but I just couldn't stand by. Um, she, she's," and All Might would say, like, "She's what?" He would say that she's my girlfriend. And All Might would say, "Oh, really? Well, you are can't one protective boyfriend. Yeah, I guess you are one heroic boyfriend, and she must be lucky to have you." And Deku would say, "Yeah." And All Might, I have a question. And All Might would say, "What is it?" And he would say, like, "Why did you want to meet with me? Like, did you just want to tell me that?" And All Might would say, "No, that is not the only reason I wanted to see you." And All Might would look to Nezu, and Nezu would look at him. He would give a nod, and Nezu would lock the door, and All Might would start talking to Deku. "Hey, like I said, what you did to try to save your girlfriend was heroic. I was in the crowd, but I couldn't do anything." And Deku would say, "What do you mean?" All Might would shrink down, and Deku would like scream. He would say like, "Oh, are you an imposter?" And All Might would say like, "No, it's me, All Might, but this is my another, I guess you can say, small form." And then he would start explaining what happened to him and his injury. And he would tell him that he needs a successor, because this quirk he has was given to him, and it needs to be passed on from generations to generations. And Deku would say like, "Someone gave you this power?" And All Might would say, "Yes. My teacher was the former user of this quirk, and she passed it down to me. And now, young Midoriya, I would like to pass it down to you." And Deku doesn't really know how to feel. He would like start to cry, and you know, All Might would say that, "Young man, you too can become a hero." And All Might would, or Nezu would say, "I know it's a lot to take in, but we'll give you some time." And Deku would say, I don't need, no, I have an answer." And he would say, "Really?" And Deku would say, "Yeah." All Might would say, "Yes, I accept your power." And All Might would say, "Splendid. Now, I'll leave you to rest, but in a few days, I'll come pick you up and we can start training." And Deku would say, "Training?" And All Might would say, "Yes, I'll explain later. I'll explain in a few days once I pick you up." And Deku would say, "Oh, okay." And, should I make it longer? Yeah, I'm gonna make this longer. It is a special after all. I usually make my specials an hour long. So I'm gonna keep going. So, a few days would pass. Deku's released from the hospital. He would see a limo outside, and he would walk up to it because he knows that All Might should have been picking him up. But then he would see a man step outside the limo. He would say, "Are you Izuku Midoriya by any chance?" And and Izuku would say, "Yeah, yes, that's me." And he would open the door for him, and he'd say, "Please get in. All Might's waiting for you." And Deku would say, "Oh, okay." And as they're riding to like the beach, they're going to the beach. And Deku would say like, "Hey, I think we should go to my house first. My mom would be worried if I wasn't there at the hospital anymore." Then the guy would say, "We already contacted your mom and she agreed." And Deku would say, "Really?" And so like they would make it to the beach. All Might would be there, and he would be there waiting for him in his. I'm gonna say that he's in his Small Might form. Yeah, why not? He's in his Small Might. No, he's in his butt form because the person that's driving the limo doesn't know about One for All. So so he's in his buff form. The man would step outside, then he would open the door for Deku. Then All Might would appear, he would say like, "Haha, glad to see you here, Midoriya." Deku would say like, "Hey, All Might." And the limo would drive off, and then All Might would buff down. He would start spitting a little bit of blood. Deku would say like, "Whoa, are you okay?" All Might would say, "Yeah, I'm fine. But anyways, are you ready for your training to start?" And Deku would say, "Yeah, but what kind of training? Like, why do I need to train?" And All Might would say that my quirk is an enhancement type quirk. It enhances your body by an extreme amount. And if you did have a quirk, it would enhance your quirk as well. It enhances your speed, strength, and just overall your physical body. But the thing is, you need to train because if I just gave it to you now, your arms and legs would just shoot off and explode. And that would scare Deku, and he would say, "Alright." He'd say, like, "Alright, I'll train." And All Might would say, "That's the spirit." So, he would start training. And, like, he would start to become, like, regular Izuku. Like, the canon, like, the current Izuku, from, like, the manga, he's just like normal Zuko, but he doesn't tolerate Bakugo anymore. He just avoids him altogether. He doesn't really talk to him. But yeah. And he would start like jogging around the entire city for like exercise because Deku needs a lot of exercise to get One for All. And Chizuru would be like on like dates with clients that rented her out, and she would see Deku just running and running, and she would get curious, but then she would smack. She would like look away and focus on like the date in hand, and but after a couple of months, she would just see Deku nonstop, just running around the city, just jogging or full on actual running. And she can't help but like just notice him. And she would notice that he was getting a little bit taller. He has more muscle on him. And she just gets really curious, but she doesn't know why. And one day after her date is over, she would see Deku. She would see him running, and she decided to follow him. And eventually, she would make her way to the beach, Dagobah Beach, I think that's what it's called. Yeah. She would arrive, and she would see Deku on the beach with someone, an old man, a skinny one, in fact. And she would just be hiding from. She would just be hiding, just looking at Deku. She would see that, he's grown. Like, his body has, like, bulked up. She just can't help but notice looking at him and just, like, full on staring at him. And then, so sorry, but, she's just, like, full on just looking at his muscles and all that. But then she would just start, like, saying, like, no, why am I just looking at him? But what is he doing here anyway? It looks like he's doing training. And she would remember that. I'm going to say that Deku told her that he wants to become a hero. And he is trying out for the entrance exams. Then she would say, like, oh, it must be that. And no. She would leave, but every now and then she would follow Deku back to the beach and just watch him train. And she doesn't know why she's feeling this way, because she's never felt this way about a client. And, it's been a while since, Deku rented her out. And, Deku kind of feels bad. Or, yeah, even though Chizuru was just a rental, he kind of feels bad for just, like, leaving her. And sorry about that, guys. My brother just started to cry for some reason. I don't know why, but he stopped. I don't know if he would start crying again, but, anyways. So Deku would feel bad, even though Chizuru was just a rental, but he kind of feels bad for he just left her in, like, probably in the worst scenario in her life. She got attacked by a couple of people, and then she got attacked by a villain. And, he just feels bad. But then he would remember that he hasn't paid her since the last time he rented her out. Then he would check his phone to see a bunch of emails saying that he needs to pay, the tuition or whatever it is. He just needs to pay up. And Deku would say, like, oh, I forgot about that. So after his training, he would go to, like, the agency where, like, where the business is, like, where the company is. He goes in, he hands him the money, and he would make his way out. And as he's walking away, he would open the door to find Chizuru about to open it as well. And he would say, oh, Chizuru, like, hi. She would say, like, hi. And Deku would say, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't talk to you like that. I shouldn't talk to you like we're friends. I'm sorry. And Chizuru would say, like, no, it's fine. And she would say, like, how you been? And Deku would say, like, I've been alright. How about you? I feel kind of bad that I left you in, like, that kind of scenario that, you got attacked by people and then you got attacked by a villain. And I just wanted to say sorry for just, like, leaving you and not, like, comforting you at all. Then she would give off a little blush, and she was like, it's fine. And Deku would say, like, oh, really? I feel bad. She would say, like, no, it's fine. Then she would say, like, I guess you're here to pay the tuition, just to pay the tuition. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it for the tuition. Yeah, I don't really care, but that's the only word I can think of. So, like, she said that, and Deku would say, yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm sorry about that too. And Chizuru would say, like, it's fine. It's not uncommon for people to do that. And Deku would say, oh, well, I'm still sorry. And he would say, like, well, I must get going. I don't want to bother you. So he waves goodbye. She waves as well. And she just gets flustered for some reason. She got really flustered when he was talking to her. And, you know, as like, she noticed as she was talking to him, he was a lot more, I guess, he seemed more happy. You know, he seemed like an actual genuine person. And, you know, she smiles. And, you know, I'm gonna say, like, the lady at the front desk notices this. And she would just say in her head, like, oh, has Chizuru fallen for one of her clients? And she, like, gives off a little laugh. And, you know, that Deku leaves to go home. And you know what? You know what? Should I skip? No, I'm not gonna skip just yet. I was gonna do a time skip to the 10 months, but, you know, no. So, you know, Deku, Deku cancels. Yeah, Deku texted All Might that he can't, no, I was about to say he was gonna cancel the training, but he just told All Might that he's gonna want to do it a lot earlier than normal. Because I want to say that, you know, it's the weekend, or, you know, he just wants to do it early in the morning. Because they usually start at like 1 in the afternoon. So he wants to just start it early, like at 8 or like 7. So, he works out in the morning. Then almost like 5 hours later, you know, he gets off. You know, he's done working out with All Might. And, you know, sorry if you can hear my family downstairs. And so, yeah. Sorry, I just blanked out. Sorry. So, like, you know, Deku rents out Chizuru. Yeah, he booked it earlier like the day before. And, you know, then it's time he gets home, he washes up, he takes a shower, brushes his teeth, does his hair, whatever. No, he doesn't do his hair, but, you know, he just gets ready for his date. And he's been, like, buying, like, a lot nicer clothes than he usually wears. You know, he buys, like, just stuff that makes him just better clothes than what he had before. And he puts on a hoodie, you know, I guess some jeans and, like, his red, and, you know, he puts on a teal hoodie, some jeans, and I would say I don't know, just some shoes. Not his red shoes, because that wouldn't really look good on it. But just some random shoes that looked good with the outfit he had. So, I'm sorry if that, I don't really know anything about dressing up, but, you know, it is what it is. So Deku meets up with Chizuru, and Chizuru is there a lot earlier. And I'm gonna cut to her point for a little bit. So I'm gonna say it's like close to 10 o'clock, you know. Chizuru was in the shower. After she was done, she gets a message that, you know, someone rented her out. And she goes to check it. And she would see that, you know, it's Deku. And she would, like, kind of be shocked, because, you know, it's been a while since he, like, rented her out. And he or she just like doesn't really know what to do, but she's like really anxious for some reason. Her legs start to feel weak, and she doesn't know what's going on, and she's like, why am I acting like this? And they give like a little text to each other, like they just plan out the day. And that is that. So we cut to like the next day. She's waiting, and she's just really really nervous for some reason, and she's just trying to like pull herself together. But she doesn't know why. And then she would hear Deku's voice. He would say like, "Hey, like you made it." And she would look to see him, dressed all nicely. He gives off a smile. He would say like, "Should we go?" And Chizuru would say, "Yeah, yeah." So, you know, like when I don't know if this is a requirement for Chizuru, but in like the rent a girlfriend, in the anime and the manga, like I don't know if it's a requirement for like the rented girlfriend, like the rental girlfriend, to like hold the client's hand, but I'm gonna say that is a requirement for some reason. But as she's about to grab his hand, she just stops and just gets really anxious. And she says she doesn't know what's going on. She's just trying to think normally, but all she can think about is like just trying to grab Deku's hand. But she kind of stops herself, and Deku notices this, and he would say like, "Hey, are you alright?" And she would say like, "Yeah, I am." And she would just grab his hand, kind of forcefully, and he would say like, "Hey, like what are you doing?" She would say like, "Nothing, just grabbing your hand. We're boyfriend and girlfriend after all." He would like give off a smile, and he would say, "Yeah, I guess we are." And she would blush, and day would go on. They would have fun, and she would just she would notice that she's been having a lot more fun than usual, because every time like people like her clients would usually take her out to these places that Deku is. And every time she's had fun, but this time with like Deku it's different. She doesn't know why, but I guess we all know why, because I told you guys that she likes Deku, likes Deku for some reason. you know and she doesn't really know what these feelings are and why they're specifically towards Deku, but she tries her hardest just to to hide them. And she would start to ask Deku and like a few questions that are a bit personal, like that are not meant for like it's their like Chizuru is not allowed to like ask these questions like towards her clients, but she does it anyway. And Deku would say like, "Whoa, like that's kind of a bit personal." And Chizuru would say like, "No, oh, I'm sorry." And Deku would say, "No, no, it's all right." But in return, I get to ask you a few personal questions. And she would be kind of nervous. She would like say, okay." And Deku would say like, "All right, what are your questions?" And she would say like I said last time, you've gotten taller, you've gotten a lot, you you're a lot bulkier than last time. And he would say, "You really think so?" And she would say, "Yeah, yeah, and I've been following you around." And Deku would say like, "Wait, what?" And And she would say, not in like a creepy like stalker way, but I have been curious of what have you been doing, because I've seen you around the city just running and running like every single day. And one day I got curious, so I decided to follow you. And Deku gets a little nervous cause, cause he knows like if she followed him to the beach, then he is screwed. And she would say that I followed you, and then you went to a beach, and he was like, frick. He was like, dang, like I'm busted. And she would say like I followed you to a beach, and I saw you training with this old man. He was really skinny. And Deku would say, yeah, that's my sensei, my teacher. And she says, really? And and it's spaced out. But Deku says that that's his teacher. Chizuru is really. And Deku says, yeah, he teaches me different types of workouts, and I've gotten a lot more flexible and a lot stronger in the past couple of months, and it's all thanks to him. And she says that can I possibly like join you guys? And Deku would say, not to be rude, but isn't it like not allowed against the rules for you to interfere with a client's personal life? And she would say, yeah, it is, but we've been through a heck of a lot, you know. Like you said, you try to save me from those thugs and try to save me from that sludge villain monster thing. And I guess we've got it on like a more of like a friendly relationship than an actual like lover's relationship. And Deku would say, yeah, I guess. And Chaser would say like, so can I? And Deku would say, yeah, you can. And Deku would say, now it's time for my questions. And she would get nervous, and Deku would say, don't worry, it's just one question. I'm gonna save the other ones for later. And she would say like, oh okay. And well, technically it's two questions, but I guess one of them doesn't really count. But I'm gonna ask you it anyway. The first question is like, why did you decide to become a rental girlfriend? And she would say that she just wanted to she wants to be an actress, and like, she wants to be an actress. And Tiggy would say, wow, that's amazing. Like nowadays, all people want to do is become heroes, but you are one of the few people I've met that don't want to become heroes. You want to become something else. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but it's unusual for teens our age to not wanting to become a hero. And she would say, yeah, and I know, and this is the final question. And she would say, all right, what is it? Would you be my friend? And Chizuru would say, yeah, I would like to be your friend. And Deku would say, well then, so I guess we're friends, but do you want to continue this date? She says, yeah, let's do it. So, they can continue the date. And I'm gonna end it off here. I hope you guys like this. If you did, like I said, this would be a one shot unless I don't know if people would say like they want a part two. So yeah, this is the end, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.